Source, Divine Feminine, Divine Masculine, thank you for sharing this information today. And this reading will be for the Divine Feminine and where she is moving in current energies and how that is reverberating across to her Divine Masculine. This is Anais, and welcome to my channel. Please do like and share and subscribe if you find this content interesting. I'm an intuitive reader. I do not read traditional tarot, but I do translate energy currents and bring to them the context of what might be going on in other realms, in higher dimensions. And right now we are in a cycle of going backwards. If we haven't attended to all of our shadow work, Mercury retrograde will drag us right back to the beginning of a cycle and invite us to take one more look if we haven't fully cleared it out. For those of us who are going to be coming into union on this timeline wave that is moving in through the end of this summer, for the most part, we have been already fully activated. We have been very committed and diligent about our inner healing and our outer observation and being able to come into a level of balance with our emotions and having a sense of deep insight around our mental patterning and cultural conditioning. And we've done so much work that we are really ready to move forward with our mission. And so I'm reading current energies from this point of view on this particular snapshot moment on the emerging timeline. So if this doesn't resonate for you, please feel free to come back another time, and thank you for stopping by. So we're going to begin with where the Divine Feminine is in current energies, and I use a number of decks because I feel as the energies flow and they're available for me to translate, I want to have a lot of images to work with to make sure that the translation is full. The first card we had out is Starfish Spirit, and this starfish, the message is open to infinite possibility. And this is where the Divine Feminine is poised right now. She's really ready and able to not only open to infinite possibility, but she's able to narrow that down to a particular timeline that's running through each day as she's moving forward. And she is taking infinite possibility and she's narrowing it down to beautiful, balanced choices in the moment that are all contributing to union within herself and or supporting union in her Divine Masculine counterpart. So I will share again that when I use Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine, they have nothing to do with your biological gender. It's the energy that you emphasize as you are moving through life. So this is the Starfish Spirit. She is ready to be a star. She's ready to allow the beautiful waves of currents coming from Source to wash over her and to nourish her and keep her in her co-creative tidal pool with others of like-minded spirit who are ready to begin their mission work and who are ready to begin to share the information that they're broadcasting back to the collective. I see these feathery projections as transmission lines that come out from the starfish, and through which the starfish communicates, this is what I know about the realm in which I am able to feel and know my environment in multiple directions at the same time. Next we have the dragonfly spirit, and the message here is that truth transcends illusion, and this is about lightheartedly moving through the realms and the information, and we're able to touch information lightly and move on, and we're also empowered to glide through very powerful currents of mental energy and allow those currents to support us rather than to crash us down to the earth, because we can't discern truth from illusion. So this is also an energy that the Divine Feminine is riding today, and this is a very, very beautiful card. So the two of these together are really bridging earth, air, and water. And I see a little bit of fire in the coloring here and the coloring here. So this is the core of the energy of the Divine Feminine today. And in her persona, in her archetypal persona, she is coming across in the current energies as Queen of Air. She has the ability to fly in any direction and to see the bigger perspective. She has a vantage point of being able to literally move through any realm and see the highest perspective for herself and for those associated with her. And she is aligned with Source, and she is aligned with sacred wisdom. And she uses her connection to Source and to sacred wisdom to transmute currents of air or perspectives that she may rise into where the perspective is not clear, where there needs to be a parting of the veil or a parting of clouds of mental conditioning that are getting in the way and perhaps even blocking sacred union. So the Divine Feminine is in this embodiment, current energies at this time. Okay, next out I pulled 6 cards in 2 rows to take a look at where this energy that the Divine Feminine is in is reverberating in her union within herself, her inner masculine, and with her divine masculine external if they are in physical contact and in communication. First, we have Arvel the Parrot, and this card is all about communication. And here you can see that this card is showing that what's happening in the Divine Feminine with her clarity and perspective is being transmitted, and this lovely creature is picking it up with his lit up antenna and his whiskers, which are a bit reminiscent of the whiskers on the starfish, and even the shape of the starfish's tentacles. And this information is lighting up the Divine Masculine's throat chakra, so he is really beginning to feel empowered and safe in what it is he recognizes in his journey that he's on, and what it is that he needs to communicate to the Divine Feminine so they can remain on the same page. And coming out with Arvel is the Oak Man, which is a very grounded, very earthy energy. It is eons old, and look at the deep wisdom and sadness in those eyes. This is an ancient being that is still here and still willing, long in the tooth that it is, still grounded, still very much connected to nature, as well as being connected to source. And these two energies are working together in what they're sharing with themselves and what they're sharing in terms of what information they have to ping back to the divine feminine. So this is how we communicate and what is communicated coming from the conscious divine masculine in current energies. He is very much being very carefully considerate of what he is communicating and how he is communicating back to his divine feminine in the multitude of ways in which they are communicating right now, which will include all of their subtle bodies and their open 12 chakra systems. They are now really reverberating and vibrating together and sharing information about the work that they will be doing as part of their sacred union mission and their ascension tasks. Next we have Friends. I love this card because this is showing the playfulness with which we are managing very complex, very intense transformational processes every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And I love this card particularly because this card for me represents soul group as distinguished from soul family. And I have written a blog post about what I view as the distinction between soul family, that would be the family you're born into, and your soul group, which would be your companions that have been with you through many life experiences and many lifetimes and timelines and dimensions. And you share your personalities as well as your meta beings in your relationship within the soul group. And our purpose together is to assist each other in our deep work, to assist each other in accomplishing our sacred union missions, and to uplift, whether we're divine masculine or we're divine feminine, to uplift those of us who are in sacred journey within the collective so that we go homeward in wholeness. So I love this card. Now this has come out with the Death card. And the Death card is a beautiful, simple, shrouded card in which all of the gathered intelligence, all the living lessons are resting in the hands. And this is the image of release, and release into regeneration and into rebirth. So this is a card of having accomplished a great deal and being ready to finish, to complete, and to begin anew. And I am very, very excited when this card comes out with Friends, because this is the journey that our friends help us make. And we support each other as we're gathering up all of our living lessons. I mean, you could see how this lights this, and this is getting ready to be, boom, kicked over here, and we completed. We're ready to move on. We're ready to begin anew. So this is the energy that is reverberating through the divine masculine based on where the divine feminine is today in her clarity about the perspective of what has been accomplished and what can now be released and let go of and put into the vault of creation experience for others to find and share and use. Next out we have the divine feminine showing up as herself in her earthly aspect of as the bright mother. This is a beautiful sensual card. It is full of sensuality and earthiness, and this is Gaia in her most luscious presentation. And every time I look at this card, I often think of, in this particular season now, of the delight of going out into the garden and finding ripe raspberries and seeing the tomatoes coming on into ripening and looking at what's happening with all of the beautiful garden vegetation where I live and the birds and how happy everything is to be this nourished and this cherished by the Bright Mother. So this card symbolizes for me the depth of support and of nurturing that is Gaia when she is left alone, untrammeled by the distorted masculine. And if you saw my reading around the divine masculine and his breakthrough into joy, based on the energies that were very intense last week, coming into retrograde, that were inviting us into deep, deep, deep processes of forgiveness of ourselves and each other. So this is a beautiful place for the divine feminine to be coming from today. And this energy is being met by Rar, which is nuclear power. This is spiritual power, well beyond the ability to simply manifest, or well beyond the ability to be in service to self through the use of magic. This is the power behind co-creation. And for me, this is the archetypal energy of masculine energy, that is all of this nuclear energy ready to be released and ready to work with the Bright Mother to bring things into form and fruition. Now, this is a reflection of the divine feminine and the powerful balance she's coming into in her own inner union. She's ready and she's able to move forward with a tremendous sense of grounded, purposeful power of co-creation with all of the Earth's elementals and with the backing of all the divine realms, ready to serve her, ready to co-create with these energies. Then next out we have the Singer of Transfiguration. And I think I'd like to read what the book says about this energy. This is just a beautiful, clearly passionate, reminiscent of the fiery downward cone energy of the blending in union of the feminine and the masculine meeting together in sacred union. And this card is an 11, so I'm going to just put this card here for a minute and read from the book. And this is the Fairies Oracle, this deck, which I happen to be very fond of. The Singer of Transfiguration tells us that we have been through the gate. We have passed through the initiation process. We have reached a new way of being, reflecting deep transformation within ourselves. Things will never again be what they once were. Things will never be seen in the same way by us, and this is a good thing. The singer's joyful, passionate, bright blaze of color heralds a time of fulfillment and accomplishment. This card in a reading signifies the joy of success after a time of struggle. A new way of life has been accepted and is being integrated. A sense of inner peace is growing. The struggle has all been worth it. This is a time of consolidation and joy, and is both reward for past achievements and a time of preparation for the next climb up the path, or the next journey that we're going to begin. So I think this is stunning that this is showing up in combination with the spirit dancer. So here we have tremendous energy moving in the co-creative dance. And the spirit dancer, I will read a little bit about, because I think it is a stunning card, and it reminds us of so much that is happening right now within the union. This is a card that references self-expression, freedom, and exploration. The spirit dancer understands both sides of self-expression. In the first stage, we get our inner vision, feelings, and creative impulse out into the world through art, whatever that is. Then our expressions are reflected back to us from the mirror of other people's perceptions, and we discover what our art awakens in them. Creative expression is a method of exploring our own truth. I feel, from my experience as an artist, it is not only an expression of our own truth, but is an expression of tapping into a vein of profound connection to Source as the energy of creation. The key words here are explore, experiment, and express. So the Divine Feminine here is really ready to open up to this and understand, slant on things that's a bit different, and understand that what's reflected back to us in response will perhaps contain something we haven't seen about our own experience, a new insight, a different view, an expansion of our picture of reality. This side of the creative expression, the sharing part, enriches us in a different way than the actual creation. A poem written, something sculpted, the experience changes the artist, and then it changes the artist, and it changes others with whom it is shared. So this card indicates that it's time to really focus and concentrate on a project or process. This could be your sacred mission, especially one involving the creative arts. Spontaneity balanced by self-discipline will help us achieve our goals, strive for elegance and simplicity. This is a time to bring out and share qualities that we have nurtured in private. So this is very, very supportive of the Divine Feminine as she is gained in her clarity and self-confidence and may already have launched herself into her mission. Now, next up we have the Dark Lady. And the Dark Lady is reflective of things unborn, incipient energy, things not yet conceived of. She is the seed place. She is the place where the seeds come from, where the seeds are grown and rest in the dark until it's time for them to burst forth. And for me, the Dark Lady represents the courage and the power of being fully able to walk through our own shadow, to move with confidence and grace and a sense of loving compassion, forgiveness, humility, and vulnerability as we walk through our own shadow of the valley of death or through our own dark night of the soul. And this is a feminine energy because she's very much, for me, in alignment with the magnetic energy of the black egg. She draws everything to her. Nothing can remain hidden or unseen. And nothing that is not ready for birth will be allowed to pass through her realm. All right. Now she comes out with the card, He of the Fiery Sword. And I feel this is the energetics. This is like the archetypal, sensual and sacred sexual creative energy that has been paired and that is coming into union. And in this pairing, we have, this is again augmented by the spirit dancer on the feminine side and augmented by the singer of transfiguration on the masculine side of the dynamic. So this is about as sensual, sexual, sacred sexuality as we're going to get. And this is coming up in our upcoming unions. So we are prepared. It's happening. The wave is here, and it's upon us. So we see this very, very dynamic, beautiful sharing of energy in which we are no longer afraid of our shadow, and we can come into union because we've explored and expressed and understood every bit of our shadow, and every time another opportunity floats to the surface, we take the opportunity to do the transmutation, to do the transformation. And that's how these incipient seeds are then consecrated and conceived, and they're able to grow into new life. Conception. And we have out first ecstasis. So I would say that ecstasis is clearly the culmination of what is happening with the energy of the bright mother, Aurora, the singer of transfiguration, the spirit dancer, the dark lady, and the he of the fiery sword is leading to the experience of ecstasis, which is when we come into divine union with our sacred union partner, and the two of us come into divine union with Source. This is ecstasy. And for those of you who've already had a taste of that, who've had the glimpse of what that's going to be like, when the physical union comes into full depth expression in a 3D physical embodiment, it is just there are no words. And this has come out with Lasguna, and Lasguna is, I'm going to read again from this card, because she is the energy of things being brought into reality, being brought into form. So let me find her. She's number 39. Her keywords are sunken treasure, discovery of self, adventure. Exploration is what this card is all about. We discover parts of our talents and potentials that have been hidden by old traumas and understandings, or by lack of opportunity, or have become hidden away from us by our shadow selves that we haven't had the resources or the means or the strength to move through and transform. Lasguna wants us to dive deeply into new experiences, even when these experiences involve flying high. Try new things, new tastes, new sights, new sounds, with all the open willingness of a child. Life is always there to inspire and excite you. Now, it is important to take soothing baths and take good self-care, trips to spas, hot springs, dips in the sea, mountain lakes, take mud baths, and it is also just as important to explore the inner realms. And she tells us that the exploration of the outer realms is just as vital, suggesting we go places we have never been and try things we have never done. Take classes in subjects we've always meant to study someday, maybe even learn a new language and see where and how we get to use it. So this is about deep self-expression that involves discovery of new people, places, and things. And so there's a beautiful pairing here, the ecstasy of what we will be discovering in the 5D energy domain, and the physicality we will experience in 5D, and the ecstasy of being in union with our sacred others while we're discovering each other and ourselves, and discovering a deepening intimacy and relationship with Source. Okay, now I'm going to close it here for the general reading. and then I will go on with an extended. So if you're interested in continuing in the flow of these energies for the Divine Feminine, I hope you'll join me. And if not, if this is where we part ways for the day, for the evening, for the hour, for the month, whatever time you're watching this, thanks very much for stopping by. And please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.